We're pretty. Hi, and welcome once again to Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks.
And it's St. Patty's Day.
And being of Irish descent ourselves, but
We thought we should bake,
Yes.
but we already made the cookies and
Yeah, well.
ate most of them. So we're going to make Irish soda bread.
yes,
Well, sort of, because I'm going to make some changes, because I don't even know what the hell caraway seeds are. And I'm sure I don't have any. But everything else,
I've heard of them.
yeah, well, I've heard of them. Everything else I've got, except I don't really want to put raisins in it, so I'm going to put nuts in it instead. So we start
Which
with,
still work.
yeah, 2.5 cups of flour, and that's what I have right here, 2.5 cups of flour. The next thing you add is 1/2 cup of sugar. I should have had that sitting out where you can see it. 1/2 cup of sugar. La la la. This is 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. La 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 la. Now, one thing I don't get is why it's called soda bread if it has 3 times as much baking powder in it as it does baking soda. We're going to be using that for the eggs. And then the other dry ingredient is, weirdly, a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Go figure.
Gee, oh, there they are. Measuring spoons.
Now, this isn't a family recipe or anything, because although we, have Irish dinner on St. Patty's Day, we've never actually made soda bread to my memory.
Yeah, but we are Irish, just in case you hadn't noticed.
A little bit.
Well, a little bit of Scots, and well, as my husband says, everything else. Anyways, now that's my dry ingredients. I'm just going to stir those together just a little bit. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Now, the recipe I got, and I got it off the internet, says nothing about sifting the flour, so I didn't. Not word one anywhere in there, so if that screwed it up, I'm going to have to get mad.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to set the dry ingredients over here for just a skosh. And we have the wet ingredients. We start with 1.25 cups of buttermilk. Every other recipe that I read for Irish soda bread had butter cut into it and buttermilk. This does not. Matter of fact, I
Let's see what happens.
didn't quite realize it, and I'm like getting ready to get the butter out, and I went, wait a minute, there's no butter in there. I double checked it because I thought I was losing my marbles, but no, it really doesn't. Oh, you know what?
What?
I'm gonna need the wire whisk for this. Because I'm going to have to whisk these things together. And that's 1 egg.
Yep.
Then that's 2 eggs. So it's like 1.25 cups of buttermilk, like I said, 2 eggs. And this is pretty much all the wet. Well, the vanilla.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think is weird, I mean, I got no problem because, I'll be honest with you, cinnamon and vanilla are 2 of my favoriteest things in the world.
Yes. She
But
goes.
it was another one of those things that most of those recipes didn't have. They were like, what?
But it's
No.
this vanilla of which you speak. We know it not.
Yes.
Go figure.
Now, now she has already prepped a 9-inch round pan. For some reason, Irish soda bread is always a round loaf, like Portuguese bread or Hawaiian bread, or we've lived lots of places. Now,
It's just
it
a
says to do
thing.
that, and then it says stir into dry ingredients. Oh, rats. Raisins, or in this case, the nuts were supposed to go in before I did that. We're going to have
Pardon me for
to
just
go
a
get the nuts. We're just going to have to find a way.
Well, I'm sure that mixing it into the liquid will not be that difficult.
Well, you mean
Liquidy stuff.
the dough?
Yeah.
I'd be looking up at y'all, but I got to pay attention to this. Oh, yes, it will, honey buns. Wait till you see this. This is interesting. Was to be careful not to overstir, just like so many of these things. I need the pan. And fortunately, I have a scraper right here because I was using it. Yeah, this is thick stuff. See, she was thinking in terms of, maybe the cornbread muffins that she makes, which is a batter bread.
And,
And
you
this
know,
isn't
it's
it.
comparatively loose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
dear.
Yeah. Basically, the muffin, her cornbread muffins is roughly the consistency, before it's baked, of course, of cake batter. This is more like, well, standard muffin batter. I need a bigger scraper. This is not going to work.
So we're just giving up on the idea of the nuts entirely.
Well, we can sprinkle them on top.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Now, I'd also like to mention that the buttermilk...
Smells wonderful, but then, vanilla, sugar,
Yeah.
cinnamon.
Bigger scraper.
Just a moment, my dumpling. Swap
Yes.
me out.
Okay. I
That's
started to say the buttermilk struck us as being strangely thick. Most of the buttermilks we have come across are comparatively thin, since buttermilk, in and of itself, is milk that's had all the solids taken out of it. But this particular brand is weirdly thick. We don't know why. It smells
And
okay.
I called them, and they said, no, that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, I don't think so. But, okay. Oh, this is going to be tasty.
Gonna be
We are
kinda
making
thick,
corned beef
too.
and cabbage, by the way, back there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Should I go chop some nuts to sprinkle on top?
yeah,
or-
go chop some nuts to sprinkle on top.
Yeah.
What the heck? We might as well go ahead and just utterly butcher this Irish soda bread recipe.
Tastes good.
Yeah. Like I said, sugar, vanilla, cinnamon. There's no bad here. That's why I chose this one. The vanilla and the cinnamon. And the sugar. I was like, okay, that sounds good. That sounds more like a cake, but I don't care. Oh, yeah. And you know what else I can do? I can sprinkle the top of this with cinnamon sugar before I bake it, right?
Yeah.
Sugar, cinnamon.
You certainly wouldn't be, disturbing the flavor any.
This is what it looks like in its pan. And she's going to chop some nuts to sprinkle on it. And I'm going to sprinkle it with cinnamon sugar. And then we have to cook it for like 45 to 50 minutes. So, see ya.
And we're back.
And we're back. And here it is. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. Smells nice, too.
Smells wonderful. It's got sort of a hard crust on it.
That's
Smell
kind
it.
of expected.
That's kind of expected. We're thinking it's going to be very yummy. And if it's not quite exactly Irish soda bread, we're not quite exactly Irish. We're Irish Polish. We could screw something up and blame it on the Polish side.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Now, the instructions say to let it cool in the pan for 10 minutes and dump it out of the pan and then let it cool completely.
And we're going to eat this with our corned beef and cabbage.
It should be a fascinating combination. But otherwise, there you have it.
Yep.
Kind of, sort of Irish soda bread.
We just sprinkled pecans on the top.
Yes. We did mention that before we went out.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Bye-bye.